first of all, I wasn't going to publish it at all. I wrote it and I didn't think it was the greatest thing I'd ever written. So I kept pushing it to the back of like the publishing queue. And an ebook publisher called Bookouture approached me and I had the manuscript and I said, well, maybe they could help me fix it and make it better. And my thought with them is I didn't even expect it to be in bookstores. I just thought, well, maybe I'll reach an audience I hadn't reached before. Like maybe an extra 5,000 or 10,000 people will read it. And I was happy with that. I was like, that's all I want. And then, the idea of it hitting the New York Times bestseller list, that publisher's never had a book hit New York Times bestseller list. So it wasn't even a tiny bit in my head. I would say he's one of my favorite directors, if not my favorite current director. He's amazing. He's directed so many of my favorite movies in the last like 10 to 15 years. So, I mean, when they said he was directing, I like was mind blown. He's just the best. I'm so happy about that. I was actually on a trip to New York visiting my parents. I'm from New York originally. And on the trip, the Richard King from Bookouture, he's their media person, he like called me and he said like, we've got Hidden Pictures is interested in your book for a movie. And I was like, what? Like it was just so surreal. And I was telling my family and they wanted to meet right away, but I'm like on this trip, I didn't have my computer. So I met with them like doing a Zoom on my phone and I had to like prop it up in a tissue box because I didn't have like a computer that I could work off of. So I'm doing the Zoom and I'm like, oh my God, these major, Hollywood people are talking to me and I'm have them on a tissue box. Rebecca's amazing. I'm a big fan of hers too. My husband and I watch The Boys, which she wrote for, and it's like one of our favorite shows. So again, when they said, "Oh, Rebecca Sonnenshine's doing the script," I was like, "Oh my God, that's so cool." So I was just so excited because she's just so good at capturing that humor, dark humor, you can call it. And she just does it so well. So I just knew she was perfect. And when I read the script, I got chills. Well, the book is about a woman who gets a job. She's down on her luck. She was an ex-con, and she gets a job working as a housemaid for a rich family. But it turns out to be not quite what she expected. And the family, especially the wife, is, a little bit odd, to say the least. I actually met her today and I like embarrassingly started to cry because I was just so excited. And it's a character that I've become so attached to over the last 3 years. And it's like I just saw her and I was like, it's Millie. And I was so happy because she was Millie. Yeah, I love Amanda. I saw Mean Girls, of course, and she's great in Mamma Mia too. She's so talented. And this morning I got to see her do a scene with Andrew, and she was so incredible. I had goosebumps from the scene. She really embodied the character. She had just the right amount of like crazy. She was so perfect. And I can't imagine anyone better. Like she nailed it, like 100%. In my old house where I used to live, it's this like very old Boston house, like from the 19th century. And I had this super creepy attic. So I was kind of obsessed with like this attic. And I needed to write an attic story about something bad happening in an attic. Um, if you saw that attic, you would totally understand the whole book. I want them to fall in love with the characters, and just be at the edge of their seats. I think they'll be happy. I think that they're going to think the characters are very true to who they are in the book. And I believe that my readers are going to love this movie adaptation. I think it's going to give them everything they want.